Texas fans. Yeah, a lot of Texas fans. That's who they still don't recognize the Texans. They like the Houston Oilers. I had actually some people today at work that said, "Yeah, Houston Texans, go Oilers."
Oh my God, it's true though. I've been locked into the Houston Oilers for some time, and it is honestly never did understand that move. Why would somebody move from a big market like Houston to go to a market like Tennessee? It never did make a lot of sense. The NFL quickly
Just to
fixed
get
that
an
problem.
expansion team in Houston.
Yeah, I guess that was a way of like forcing the owner out, huh?
Looks like it.
Okay, so
Gary Glanville, that was a good one. I haven't heard that name in forever.
Yeah,
Great.
he's actually coaching up at Portland State University now.
No way.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I thought you'd like
that would be cool to go there. Yeah, to go there and see him, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Now, this dreadful start that the Chiefs had at 1-5. What was it that had them 1-5? And is there a possibility we could see those nightmare situations begin to happen? Because everybody's taking a look at this 10-game winning streak,
Sure.
and people have started poking holes in it, saying, that was a bad team, that was a bad team, that was a really bad team.
Yeah.
And
They didn't play very many good teams, just like Seattle,
okay.
except for they played Arizona. But you're right. They didn't play very many good teams, and that's the reality. They did play the Steelers. They beat the Steelers without Ben Roethlisberger, so
Yeah.
say what you will about that. We beat the Broncos. During that time, we humiliated them. So what I think this is going to come down to, and you're right, you can poke a lot of holes in this. Can that 1-5 team come back in this game? And of course they can. A team can come out and play like crap any day. But I think the reason I have a lot of confidence is this defensive unit has played very well. And the defense is where you're going to win games. We saw that interesting. I sent you that text the other day, and for all the talk about offensive games and quarterback leagues, and this is a quarterback receiver kind of league, I looked at this, and here's an interesting statistic this year. Let's look at the top 12 teams this year in ranked by opponent points. So how many points the defense gave up per game? It was Seattle, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Denver, Minnesota, Carolina, Houston, Arizona, New York Jets, New England, Pittsburgh, and Green Bay. All 12 of those teams, except for the Jets, are in the playoffs.
Wow. So defense
that's
really does win
pretty
championships.
Amazing. Clearly, look, if your defense can hold an opponent's team to low amount of points, you have a better than average chance to win that game. That's period. I mean, look at Seattle. You want to wonder why Seattle is storming into the playoffs? They're the first on this list. For 2015, they held their opponents to an average of 17 points. That means you got to score 2 touchdowns and a field goal or 3 touchdowns to win the game. That's not bad.
No,
Kansas City right behind them at number 3. And all this year, all we heard about was Denver's defense. Oh, Denver's defense. They're 4th on this list. That's a beatable defense.
Yeah, Denver's defense does allow points. However, Denver's defense is extraordinarily crazy physical. It's hard to live through.
It's called cheap shots.
A Denver defense situation. And that, you're right. You're right. They beat people up with cheap shots, start picking people down, and especially the line. And before you know it, the line's worn down with these crazy, stupid little injuries that are beginning to amass throughout the game. And then Denver usually stomps on their head in the fourth quarter. But you know who else is beating people in the fourth quarter? Kansas City. Their turnover ratio in the fourth quarter through 2015 is a whopping 9+. Holy cow. Talk about playing strong in the fourth. That is the way to close out games right there.
They're showing up, and this is the reason. I mean, going back to this statistic, here's what I like about this. They are consistent. It doesn't matter who they were playing, whether they're playing Denver or they're playing Pittsburgh or they're playing the Cleveland Browns, they're not giving up a ton of points in any game. And they're making the right moves. The defense is standing when it needs to stand. So here, do I go in feeling confident? Yeah, that this defense even on an off day, can hold this team to a couple touchdowns, definitely. This offense, and this is really where I think this game plays out. You're talking about Brian Hoyer to DeAndre Hopkins or Nate Washington. And then what's the guy's name? Is it Polk? Is that who's the running back? It's not Chris Polk. It's Houston's running back. Yeah,
Polk.
Alfred Blue or Chris Polk. Okay. Do I think the Chiefs defense, third ranked in the NFL this year in points allowed, can hold Brian Hoyer, DeAndre Hopkins, and Nate Washington to under 2 touchdowns? I 100% do, because you're going to have Marcus Peters on DeAndre Hopkins. Great matchup. And either one could win that. DeAndre Hopkins is going to win a couple times, but you have Eric Berry who can come over and help him. And I think Sean Smith can cover Nate Washington no problem. So I don't see a lot of matchup problems coming into play. And I think we can get to Hoyer.
Well,
I think that's where the game will be won.
I know this ticks off a lot of people when I start talking about DeAndre Hopkins and his stats for this year. But though he has put up a whopping 111 receptions for 1,521 yards and 11 touchdowns, I have to say that that's a product of the fact that nobody else on that offense is worth going to. I really do. His targets
You're right.
are 192 targets. That means that only 56% of the time do they complete it. Is that a guy that you want to go to on third down? I say not, especially without a premier quarterback throwing him the ball, and then Marcus Peters probably sitting there shadowing him, just waiting for
him to waiting for a pass to glance off. That's all he's waiting.
Not even to glance off.
Let one slip by you.
Just pretending to not cover him hard, just so the quarterback will throw that direction, and Marcus Peters takes it to the house for a pick six. Yeah. That freaks me out, because DeAndre Hopkins has not. His stats look good on the surface, but when you look at 192 targets, that's not an efficient situation. That's just the fact that he's the only guy that could do something with the ball out of that entire offense. So you're going to force him the ball, and forcing him the ball has not worked all season long. Yeah, it might work in short term, but it doesn't work in the long term, because the stats, the proven validity of who he is, every time that ball leaves his hands, there's only a 50 some odd percent chance, less than 55% chance that he's going to catch it. So why throw there? I don't think, if I were a betting man, that's not who I'd be betting on. But he is only 23 years old.
Here's the second part of this that I think is important is this Chiefs offense is efficient. They're not amazing, but this year they've been they're taking shots down the field. Macklin, he is a reliable receiver. If you're going to throw it to someone, he's probably going to catch the ball most of the time. So now you have an offense that can efficiently move the ball. So that's it. You got a defense that can get the ball and hold people, and an offense that can efficiently move the ball. Yeah, this could be a 14-0 game, 14-3 game, and I'm fine with that. It's not going to be glamorous or high scoring, but I'll take 14-3 all day.
Normally I'd say, playoffs, the home teams win, right? But this week there is not one game all the way across this entire NFL market that people are expecting the home team to win. Kansas City Chiefs predicted to win. Pittsburgh going to Cincinnati predicted to win. Seattle going to Minnesota predicted to win by the largest margin of 5.5. Green Bay going to Washington predicted to win by 1 point. This is this is kind of like where the bottom are the hot teams, and the ones that are holding these home games are the ones who kind of limped in with crummy playoff things. And that's going to have to bring up the situation, not tonight. We are going to have to talk about it sometime during the offseason about reseeding the playoffs once we figure out who's in, finding a way to reseed the playoffs, so that way the better teams are the ones who actually have the home games, not these ones who limped into the playoffs with a 500 record.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think that would be a good idea to do.
Houston has not beat Kansas City in a game that mattered since 2010.
Yes, but Houston is also 2-0 in the wild card round. So
Yes.
they're pretty clutch. They show up. And this is what you can't take this team for granted. And that's what I think a lot of people have done. They've done the same thing as Brian Hoyer. Who's he going to throw to? And then this team comes in and plays hard
They do.
and surprises people. If you don't take them serious, they'll beat you because they're a good football team. And that's how they're in the playoffs. So that's, I think, the key is taking them serious, going in, focusing all week on taking this team serious as a contender and going in to play them as hard as you can.
Concur completely. You know, it's about time for break. So before we go to break, what I want you to do is I want you to look at two key matchups, and I'd like for our callers to look at two key matchups. The first key matchup that I like is DeAndre Hopkins versus Marcus Peters. But I also think another key matchup is going to be J.J. Watt versus your entire offensive line and whether or not that's going to work. Guys, bring your key matchups to us. Text us at 77948, type the word text, and tell us what you think about potential matchups that we need to be looking at, and we will discuss them right here. Also, if you got something on the through email, just give us an email, radio@jockjournal.com, or just call us. You guys have the number by now, and if you don't have the number, get it, because I'm tired of saying it. With that, I think it's time for break. We'll catch you on the other side.
Finally, can we take a moment and stop listening to these idiots long enough to get the Cars for Kids jungle stuck in my head?
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also on the web at carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a free vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Are you looking for the web's best sports news? Visit jockjournal.com. Sports media has lost its touch. It seems that journalists are scared to report what they see, in fear of losing access to the teams they cover. At jockjournal.com, you get inside information on the entire NFL community without all the politics or fears other writers have. That's jockjournal.com. When you need the NFL sports news, information, opinions, fantasy football, or discussions, there is only one place to go, and it's jockjournal.com.
How would you love to generate a great income from the comfort of your home? Well, now you can. This amazing money-making home-based business is designed to give you time and freedom. Would your life change if you made $10,000 within 21 days and $20,000 plus every month thereafter? Sounds amazing, right? Anyone can do it, even you. Call 800-704-8681 and let their expert staff tell you all about this brand new business opportunity. Why wait? You have nothing to lose. We have the tools, training, resources, and community to help anyone get on the fast track to success. Call 800-704-8681. That's 800-704-8681. It's the easiest, most powerful home-based money-making system on the web. Call today and change your life.
You are listening to Jock Journal Radio. News, opinion, and discussion for all you jock stars.
Support for this show comes from Material. Material is a simple and intuitive e-commerce platform that lets you get your online store started without paying a dime. That's right. No ads, no setup costs, no transaction fees. Experience a fresh and easy new way to sell online by signing up at material.com today.
Okay, we're back. I had to surf porn and post my pics on an adult website.
All right, Jock Stars, thanks for coming back. I got a text from the 816. 816 says, Nash and Matt, hey, what about J.J. Watt on offense? Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, come on.